Good Monday afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Garden State Weather Premium on YouTube, Garden State Weather on Facebook, and Garden State WX on Twitter. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith. We'll take a look around the region this afternoon and as well as the national viewpoint here on this last day of February, the 28th of 2022. And tomorrow, March 1st, begins meteorological spring. That is where meteorologically we take records from March, April, and May to the end of May, and we use this information meteorologically speaking to give us a good idea of, the calculations for the entire springtime. Right now across the country, we've got a variable amount of weather, not a lot going on. We have a stalled out frontal boundary with a wave of low pressure here over Florida, peninsula, probably some small craft advisories, some showers and thunderstorms here off the Georgia coast. And this is indicated by temperatures in the 70s to around 81. As we get into the Keys here, the Bahamas are nice and warm and toasty as well. Temperatures in the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area basically running in the 30s to lower 40s. That's a few degrees below normal, but it's not too bad considering it is, after all, the last day of February, and the insolation from the sun is apparently very strong outside, which is a good indication that spring is definitely on the way. We have some watches and warnings here for a storm system off of the west coast now. Some gale warnings here and some snow warnings here across portions of the Oregon, Washington, and areas here in the northwestern United States. Back here at the Weather Center in West Orange, it's sunny and 34 degrees. And at the Weather Center here in New Brunswick at the Rutgers University Meteorology Program this afternoon, it's 38. The winds are out of the west-southwest ahead of a front that is about to approach the area during this afternoon. Mostly dry. 17 mile per hour wind gust this afternoon. So it's quite breezy outside, but it's a southwest wind ahead of the cold front. Across the region, it's still a little chilly here at High Point Monument this afternoon at about 25, 27 at High Point itself at the lower part there. Wantage at 28 and Sandyston at 30. Those are the cold spots. It's up to 43 in Cape May and about 41 in Woodbine, Mannington Township, and Greenwich, New Jersey. Other temperatures across the region this afternoon ranging anywhere from the upper 20s and lower 30s here in Sussex County and across the Poconos, and also the Hudson River Valley area into Connecticut, and right around the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan metro areas here, generally in the mid-30s. A few temperatures getting up to around 40 in the I-95 corridor in central and southern New Jersey this afternoon, where it's 41 at Woodbine, 43 at Cape May, and right now those are probably going to be around the maximum numbers here for this afternoon. Wind gusts this afternoon generally running in the teens, so it is a bit gusty out there ahead of a cold front that's working its way through. The actual wind speeds here at about 5 to 10 miles an hour with some gusts now into the teens. And the visible satellite view, this looks good. Mostly clear skies across most of northwestern New Jersey, all of the New York City metropolitan area, Long Island, down through eastern Pennsylvania, southern New Jersey, the Delmarva. This all looks clear, and it looks good. New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia, I-95 corridor, max temperatures today on this last Monday of February. Thank goodness, right? In the upper 20s to low 30s here across the north here. Mid-30s right now across the New York City metropolitan area and parts of Long Island, western Long Island that is. Mid and upper 30s to around 40 will just about do it. Temperatures on Tuesday are going to rebound into the upper 40s to low 50s in the I-95 corridor. That's nice. And temperatures again rebounding even further on Wednesday into the low 50s in the New York City metropolitan area, cooler along the South Shore and east ends of Long Island. South-facing shorelines where the ocean water temperatures are much cooler, which is natural at this time of the year. And temperatures will be rebounding into the mid and upper 50s to around 60 in a few spots here across the Delmarva area and southwestern New Jersey's I-95 corridor here on Wednesday. Temperatures slowly slipping away with the next cold front moving in Temperatures ranging from the mid 30s basically in the north to the mid and upper 40s and lower 50s to the south. So Thursday is going to be an interesting day around here, where you've got temperatures here hovering in the 30s and temperatures in the south in the 50s. And then everything just calms down uniformly so, basically upper 30s to low 40s on Friday. And Saturday back up into the 40s again and low 50s in the Delmarva area. That looks good and nice, right? Ahead of the next storm system coming in. Temperatures on Sunday, March 6th, getting into the 60-degree reading, maybe 65 or 67 in a few spots here. And again, the cool waters of the Atlantic and the South Shore and East Ends of Long Island, Southern Connecticut here are going to be cooled by the ocean. So we're running about 9-10 degrees below normal for today. Let's get this back up here. Tomorrow we're going to rebound about 5-6 degrees above normal in most places, except for the South Shore and East Ends of Long Island here, again being influenced by the water. Temperatures inland on Wednesday are going to be about 5 to 10, 12 degrees, maybe even 15 degrees above normal here in parts of Delaware. So that's cool, right? No complaints about that, I'm sure. Temperatures slack off again a little bit on Thursday, a couple of degrees below where they should be in the north and about a couple of degrees above where they should be in the central and south portions of the forecast area. That will be dictated by another shortwave in the polar flow. Then high pressure comes in on Friday, March 4th, and it's chilly again, 5, 6, 7 degrees below where it should be. So this back and forth battle will be going on in the forecast here as we head into the next several days, with temperatures slightly above and slightly below. But by the time we get into next Sunday, nobody's complaining about this. Some 10, 15 to 18 degrees above normal across the I-95 corridor, the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area. The new EPS data is coming in, 500 millibar height anomalies here. And it's still coming in through this afternoon for the next 10 days. The cycle hasn't completed itself yet, but you get the general idea. The polar vortex is warped and splitting, and there's going to be some remnant features here for colder weather coming in on Thursday into the northeast, and then out that goes. And then a west to east flow with ridging building in. Height anomalies here by next Sunday. This is the reason why all the warm temperatures here in the eastern United States, with that ridge across the south, including Florida, all the way up into the Tennessee, Mississippi, Ohio, River Valley area. Under this domain, cold shots here in the west with cutoff lows here. Almost looks like a cutoff low, but it's not really quite that way. But definitely you see that we're definitely heading into springtime here. And as we get out to about 10 days, this brings us to about the 10th of the month of March here. 500 millibar anomalies here, colder here where the vortex is splitting and all of the troughiness is out in the west coast, west of the continental divide, and ridging or flatness here across the Bahamas and the northern mid-Atlantic states. Some cold vestiges here remaining up north here, but overall this pattern doesn't look terribly terrible to me. No, if you're looking for spring, this is a pretty good sign. Now the GFS has it out to 15 days here. Here comes that cold shot. It's a little bit less prominent here than it is up north in through northern New England, and a ridge across the central plains. And here comes the upper low again over the west. And look at this by Monday, Sunday and Monday. Look at this. The height rises and the anomalies here on the GFS are incredible around the eastern United States. So, and as we bleed into the forecast, again, it sees the same similar kind of features lingering in west to east flow, cold pools over the Hudson River Valley, over Hudson's Bay into northern New England with a west to east flow. zonal flow underneath us into the eastern United States. So there's some cold vestiges here, that's for sure. Um, how much is this going to promise to bring snowfall or tricky forecast going forward? That's the next debate. Looking at the water vapor channel from the GEFS from this morning here, lots of dry air across most of the country. Change that around here, except for South Florida and into the Gulf here. But if you're looking for chilly, dry air, that's going to be centered over the Northeast. Little water vapor in the channel. Now, as temperatures rise around this ridge over the weekend, building in from the southwest here on a southeast on the southwest flow, yeah, so you're going to have low pressure heading into the Great Lakes and plenty of water vapor in the channel here to support not only the mild temperatures, but precipitation. We'll get into that in the operational models as we move forward. And then as we get into Tuesday, that front slips south, and we're really not looking at a widespread amount of water vapor in the channel here, except for old frontal boundaries and everything that's stuck out here over the southeast, and especially Florida. This is a calling card for heavy precipitation, showers and thunderstorms in this kind of pattern here, but look at the rest of the country. It's like bone dry. Winter precipitation using a 10-to-1 ratio. Obviously, this is going to be adjusted by temperature profiles, but using just the basic 10-to-1 ratio here is what the European model guidance is showing in terms of snowfall on a 10-to-1 ratio. And obviously, this is all going to change depending on location and what the atmosphere looks like downstairs as well as upstairs, because this is just a basic 10-to-1 ratio, but it still sees snow in parts of Canada here and California and the interior mountains of Washington and Oregon, the Cascades, the Colorado Rockies, the upper Midwest. And it does see a little bit here. This is the EPS data out to, let's say, Friday the 11th. It's seeing something here. It's not a lot, but if we looked at the GFS from this morning, out to 15 days, it too sees the same kind of situation. So we're going to have to watch out for some kind of rogue developments here as we move forward. Now we have the latest European model guidance from this morning, 500 millibar North American cyclonic relative vorticity here. We can take a look at this pattern moving forward, and it is a progressive pattern. And the mainstays here are the fact that the polar vortex is warped and split right now, so it's weakened a little bit. And as a result of that, downstairs at the 500 millibar pattern, we've got cutoff lows coming into the west coast, ridging southwest flow across the east. But notice also these small perturbations or troughs, weak cold fronts coming through the area into the northeast here, out of southeastern Canada as we head into Friday and Saturday. Now, that's going to all turn around, and then, we get ridging in the west. And again, a lot of these short waves are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all in the polar jet. So, the pattern is not going to be completely resolved, even though we get into a warm pattern. By the time we get into Sunday, this has caught my eye, and this is the latest, but it's also, strung out here. The energy is kind of strung out, but, can we get showers under a warm frontal boundary? Yeah, sure. And then here comes more Arctic air, or polar Pacific air, actually, I should say, with this short wave coming in on Tuesday, March the 8th. So it's a very active pattern, but one that doesn't really support any kind of major snowstorm here. And probably, if I I didn't want to do that first. I wanted to do this first. So this is coming out now. So this just shows you how volatile the pattern is, because we're going into a period where, we're at the equinox here, or approaching the equinox shortly. The sun angle is very high, and we've got warm air precipitation coming in across Chicago and the Central Plains here on a warm frontal boundary here on Sunday. So that's going to mean rain. Okay, it's going to rain around here, even with warm temperatures that we've seen. And if you're looking for snow, you're really going to have to head well north and west here, because this pattern doesn't support any kind of, lake effect snows, yeah. Downwind of that, totally dry air. So, and of course the old storm frontal boundary here, heading into March 10th here on the European model guidance, coming in this morning off the Carolina coast. And again, with this pattern here, this supports this going out to sea, and a very warm pattern across the eastern United States for the most part. For the most part, it's still quite chilly here in southeastern Canada, northern New England, the Great Lakes, but the mid-Atlantic, not so. So if we zoom in on the northeastern United States from the European model guidance's stuff this morning coming in, this doesn't really look, like a frontal boundary coming through here Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. This doesn't look incredibly impressive at all. Few lake snow showers and downwind lakes here. Few rain showers here in northern New Jersey, in the New York City metropolitan area, Connecticut, Rhode Island. Here comes the next clipper down on Thursday. This one is putting down a little bit of late shower activity again around the northern New Jersey, Connecticut, River Valley area into New York City and Long Island. Maybe some vestiges of some light snow coming in behind this system, but this doesn't look incredibly impressive to me. And then by the time we get to Saturday night and Sunday, we've got prefrontal, warm frontal rain coming in, and warm temperatures too. Now, any kind of frozen precipitation that's showing up on the model guidance here across New York State and Connecticut is going to be short-lived, because that's all going to go over to rain as we head into Sunday. So Sunday looks pretty rainy around here and mild as well. And notice the main centers here are into Canada. So this is all warm frontal rain associated with this. And then comes the next system. That one goes out, and here comes the next warm front, and precipitation again up the spine of the Ohio River Valley, the Tennessee River Valley area here into the Great Lakes and into New York, and that's supported by the 500 millibar height. So I'm not seeing anything famous here. Winter's going to linger in a few spots, but I don't see any major snowstorms here. Now, we're going to have to watch this scenario play out as we get into, let's say, March 10th. Okay, and this is, 240 hours out, so it's 10 days out. Does this go out to sea because of this and other developments further to the west? It's possible, yes. Again, using the European model guidance's 12Z run, total snowfall of 10-to-1 ratio here. And again, that's going to vary by, again, the conditions in the mid and lower levels of the atmosphere, as well as the moisture content. So, if you're looking at the next 10 days here through March 10th, you're really finding it very hard to find any kind of precipitation here in northeastern Pennsylvania, the New York City metropolitan area, Connecticut, Rhode Island. Going to have to head north. And it's that time of the year that we look at the USA NPN, the National Phenology Network Spring Leaf Index. Today, February 28th, 2022, and spring is definitely sprung here through the Carolinas and the South and Florida, all the way back through Texas, Tucson, Arizona, here into Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and the West Coast. And if we looked at the spring bloom index for today, Again, all of these areas here are starting, so we're not that far off from where we should be. Let's take a look at this. This is the index as it's showing it over the last 20 days, and if it's late or not. So spring is definitely on the way. And La Nina is weakening, and in the stratosphere, this is what we got. We got a hard rocking, split polar vortex here. And one lobe down now on the other side of the pole, and one here as we head into Friday the 5th, Saturday, okay? But all of this consolidates by the time we get back into about March 10th. So, if you want to see a couple of cold shots here and some light wintry precipitation events here, you're going to really have to head up north, like across northern New England and Canada,